All you had to do was pay us enough to live. All you had to do was pay us enough can live.
This video is not about that fire. It is not about what that person did. This video is about why that line is so hard. Because behind that line is a math problem. And once you understand the math, you understand why millions of full-time workers feel the same way. Let's start with the numbers. No opinions, just the math. A warehouse worker in Ontario, California, the Inland Empire, about 40 miles east of LA, earns between $17 and $20 an hour. Let's be generous. Let's say 20. $20 an hour, 40 hours a week, 52 weeks, that's $41,600 gross. Now, subtract federal tax income, California state tax, Social Security, Medicare. You take home roughly $32,000 to $34,000. Let's call it $33,000. That's your actual money, $2,750 a month. Now, the rent. The median rent in Ontario, California is $2,018 per month. Apartment list March 2026. 2018 out of 2783. That's 73% of your take-home pay going to rent. Before food, before gas, before your phone, before anything. The standard guideline for housing is the 30% rule. Housing should cost no more than 30% of your gross income. To afford a $2,000 apartment, you will need $80,000 a year. That's $38 an hour. That job pays $20. The system requires $38. The gap, $18 an hour. That's the trap. When people see numbers like this, the responses are predictable. Get a better job. Employers should pay more. People are bad with money. Just move somewhere cheaper. Each one of these assumes the worker is the variable, the thing that needs to change. But what if the worker is the one thing that is already doing what it's supposed to? Let me show you the architecture. Ontario, California, Inland Empire, one of the largest logistic corridors of the United States. Warehouses in every direction, jobs everywhere. But housing didn't keep up. For decades, most of this area was zoned for single-family homes. You couldn't build apartment buildings. Construction slowed, supply stalled. Meanwhile, people priced out of Los Angeles and Orange County started moving east, into Ontario, into Riverside, into San Bernardino. Demand surged, supply didn't, and rents climbed. And then a third force entered. Institutional investors started buying single-family homes and converting them to rentals at higher prices point. So now, you have three forces pushing rents up at the same time. Migration, limited supply, and investments demand. The result? The places where the jobs are become the places where workers couldn't afford to live. Now here is the wage side. There is something most people don't probably realize. The person in the company probably doesn't work for the brands those products are inside it. They work for the third-party logistic company, a 3PL, a contractor. Here is how this works. A brand makes products. They need products stored in ships. Instead of running their own warehouse, they hire a 3PL to handle it. The 3PL hires the workers. The 3PL sets the wage. The brand pays the 3PL a contract rate. And the 3PL's job is to deliver below that rate. So the worker's paycheck is set by a company's whose entire business model is cost efficiency. NFI Industries, the 3PL that run the Ontario warehouse, pays an average of about $18 an hour. Only 42% of their employees say they felt fairly compensated. And this isn't just one company. This is the model. Almost every major brand outsources warehouse labor to 3PLs. The worker is the last link in a chain built around cost reduction. And because warehouse work has low barriers to entry, there is always someone willing to take the job. So there is never upward pressure on the wage. So wages are flat. But what about the other side? What about cost? Here is the thing nobody tells you about inflation. It's not just one number. Different things inflate at different rates. Over the past 20 years, warehouse wages in the Inland Empire have roughly tracked general inflation, a couple percent a year, slow and steady. But rent hasn't tracked inflation. Rent has tracked demand, investments returns, and constrained supply. It's moved on a completely different curve. Wages went up a little, cost went up a lot. The gap opened. Economists call this cost of living erosion. Your paycheck gets bigger, your purchasing power gets smaller. You're earning more and affording less. This is the part that makes people feel crazy, because on paper, you got a raise. In practice, you got poorer. Just move. That's the other thing most people probably say. Okay, let's actually map out. Moving costs money. First month, last month, security deposit. That's $4,000 to $6,000 up front. If you're spending 73% on rent, you don't have it. But let's say you manage. Say you move 30 miles is to save $300 a month on rent. Now you're driving an extra 60 miles a day. Gas, car wheels, time, that's roughly $350 a month. You save $300. You spend $350, net negative $50. And the Inland Empire is a logistic hub precisely because of its geography. Ports, highways, rail. That same geography is why demand is high. The feature that attracts warehouses attracts residents. The worker is geographically locked. This is the part most people don't talk about enough. When you work full-time and still can't cover basic expenses, something breaks inside the logic of effort. You were taught, work hard, show up, be reliable, and you are doing everything right and still falling behind. That's not laziness. That's not poor planning. That's a system where effort and outcomes have been decoupled. Stability without mobility, employment without progress, and that gap between what you're doing and what you're getting creates a friction that doesn't show up on any balance sheet, but it's real and it accumulates. Let me be clear what this isn't. This is not about laziness. These workers show up for physically demanding shifts, often overnight, often without benefits. This is not about one bad employer. NFI operates the same model every other 3PL operates. Kimberly-Clark is doing what every other brand does. This is not about one bad decision. This is what happens when systems stop aligning. Here is the part that makes this hard to fix. Every actor in that system is behaving rationally. Employers optimize labor cost. That's how they stay competitive. Rational. Cities restrict housing supply through zoning. That protects property value for homeowners who vote. Rational. Investors buy rental properties because returns are strong. Rational. Consumer benefits from cheap logistics. Your two-day delivery exists because someone moved that box for $18 an hour. Rational. No one is the villain. Every system is doing exactly what it was designed to do. But the result is a full-time worker who can't afford to live where they work. The worker didn't break the system. The system stopped working for the worker. And the uncomfortable part, this isn't a glitch. It's not an accident. It's a design outcome. Each system is doing exactly what it was built to do. That gap between wages and costs isn't invisible because it is small. It is invisible because it is distributed across so many different systems that no one looks responsible. So, we benefit from the gap staying invisible. If this is your first time here, this channel breaks down the system that shape your money, your career, and your option. Not opinion, receipt. You can play the game and you can understand the game. That's the receipt. I'll see you in the next one.